Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's crazy that it's raining, right?
I know, but got my coffee in hand.
Same here. Welcome, everyone. This is CityClips Live. I'm here with Dr. Angela Long with TSC, Chief Engagement Officer. And this is truly an honor and a privilege to be able to have you on my humble show. We're focused on business and tech, and we're all about the topic for Future Ready Tallahassee today. So thank you so much.
Julia, thank you. And I just love what you're doing. I love the engagement you have with the community and just highlighting really good work happening in the city. So thank you for your amazing graciousness and your creativity.
Thank you so much. Yes. So to give people a little bit of context of how we met, I was lucky enough to receive an email. Probably I saw it through the chamber when they started sharing about this session, a design thinking session that you were going to lead to talk about Future Ready Tallahassee. I was like, ooh, this is exciting. Because I've always, read articles and experts on design thinking. And I was like, wow, I haven't heard of anyone do anything like this before. But it did start with you doing a session at the chamber conference, right? So tell us a little bit about that. Of course, we're going to talk about that. But before I jump to that, I wanted to talk about your background. Can you give everyone your background on how you got to Tallahassee?
I love it. Thank you. So, well, listen, I think everybody has a story. Every person walking around has a story. And sometimes people don't get a chance to really share their story. But I know that every person that we meet, there's profound things that have happened within their lives and the path that took them where they're at. I'm very grateful for the path that I have been on for my life. And I won't go through the entire story. Obviously, we don't have time for that. But I will say when I was in high school, I really didn't want to go to college. And it was one of those fluke things. One of my English teachers said, Angela, you're a really good writer. I think you should go and participate in the skills contest at the local community college. So I'm not from here. I'm actually from Oregon. And I went to this beautiful little community college on this hillside around Umpqua Valley, just gorgeous. And long story short, I went for the day because it was a day away from, school and so forth. But I participated in a 2-hour journalism competition, and they had hundreds of competitions in math and science and welding. And lo and behold, I won. And I remember at lunch going and asking, well, who won the journalism? And they said, well, somebody by the name of Angela Long. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's me. But here's the deal. It was a scholarship. And I remember the time thinking, college is grade 13. I'm going to go work. And my dad was concerned. But I, prayed about it. It was like, what is my path? Because everybody has that question. And I have to tell you, when I started going to this community college, it changed my life. And I said, wow, I love this. I love the people. I love the way that it was. I got involved. I actually was recruited into track and field, and I got a scholarship and participated all over the state. But something in me began to just burn for good to say, I want to make a difference. And so I ended up selecting education as my path. My background is elementary education. I went straight through school. I ended up getting my doctorate in community college leadership. But I started doing some national work on looking at the dropout crisis in our country. It was part of my research. And I have to tell you, it is where we are at today in our society. There's so much opportunity for good. And we tend to do the same things over and over because it's just how it's always been done. But why? So I've always been somebody to ask, why are we doing what we're doing? And I've always been passionate about education, and not just, college level or community college, but K through 12. So what brought me here is after I had graduated, had opportunity. Actually, I have a brother who is a Gator. Hopefully that doesn't offend anybody. But he kind of recruited the whole family to say, Florida's great. And I came out here, started teaching. So like I said, I'm K through 12 background, elementary education certified. You probably can see it. Or maybe you look at me and go, oh, yeah, she looks like a teacher. But I knew in my heart that having that doctorate, the work I had done, there was more. And my dad always said, you could change 30 students, or you could change 30 teachers that change 30 students each, or you could change a system. And I'll tell you, I started pursuing just, open doors to say, what is my next step? So Tallahassee, I had started working at Santa Fe College as an advisor, oversaw student leadership and activities. I literally took students to DC to meet with White House staff, asked them to present, nationally, life-changing for everybody. But I started getting in the publishing world, and the work I had done, somebody said, you should write a book. So I left my job and I was teaching on the side, and I started writing this book. So Julia, you don't know this, but it's called America's Forgotten Student Population. And it's on students with GEDs. A lot of people don't know 1 in 7 Americans has a GED. And there's a stigma about that. But the fact that they get their GED is a success. And I think we have to reframe how we treat and stereotype people. So I went up to DC after I'd had all these connections, and I met with a gentleman and I said, would you co-author with me? Christopher Mullen, he worked with all the national data. He said, yes. I was shocked. And so that launched me in the publishing realm. And 1 year that book was completed. Amazing endorsements on that book. And the next thing I knew, a second book came out, and then a third, and I started working on a series. And I was told that there was this amazing leader that was formerly at Miami-Dade College, Madeline Pumariega. I have to give her a shout out. She was then the chancellor of the Florida college system. So this is 2017 to 2019. She was, had started working up at the State Department. And I went up to meet her. Well, Julia, the day I walked in the door to ask her about a program she designed that became very famous, and it was tremendous work on innovation hubs and entrepreneurship. That very day after we met, I got a call that evening, and she said, Angela, I'd like you to come work for me. And it just happened that there was an opportunity in her area. She saw my passion. And let me tell you, that launched tremendous work. So I moved up to Tallahassee. I had 2 weeks. I knew it was my path. And I became the director of learning, innovation, and success. Started doing amazing work across the state of Florida, collecting best practices on what students need to be successful. I helped with their strategic planning. And in long story short, because I could go on, she was brought here to Tallahassee State College in 2019 in the spring. She developed the strategic plan, met with the board, and became the executive vice president to lead the college in the next phase of strategic planning. And our president, Dr. Jim Murdaugh, he knew that she had the gift to kind of lead us in this next step. Well, Julia, she recruited me again. She said, Angela, I think you would be great, to come on board. And so I had been working with NACCE. NACCE is the National Association for Community College Entrepreneurship. And it was that first, literally 2 weeks on the job, we ended up doing a college-wide design thinking that led to the Culture of Care movement. I've been here 5 years. The president brought me over after she left because she went on to become the president of Miami-Dade College, not a small school. And he said, Angela, I'd like you to work for me. We mapped out the job. It's not really a job that exists in colleges. It's more in companies. As a chief engagement officer, I help him run the Leadership Institute, his president's Leadership Institute. I oversee the strategic plan, and I help promote the college. And I get to do amazing projects like Future Ready Tallahassee.
That is so awesome. And you don't ever have to worry about sharing a long story because you're a great storyteller and it goes by quick.
Oh, good.
But yeah, no, that is so exciting. Yeah, when I attended the session that you ran, I was like, I really like her. She has so much positive energy.
I love it.
And I can tell you really care about Tallahassee, the Tallahassee community, even though you're not originally from here.
Right.
I've grown to love it. It's really true. When I'm 14 years new to Tallahassee, and when people say, oh, it grows on you and you eventually fall in love with the town.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, okay. Let's talk about Future Ready Tallahassee. What does that look like? And did you want me to go ahead and just share that visual chart? Do you want to talk a little bit about how it came to start that conversation?
Sure. Let me go ahead and share, and then we'll pull up the chart. So, given the fact that I work for an amazing president, and in fact, he was named the Entrepreneurial President of the Year. A lot of people don't know that. It was a national award through NACCE, which is the National Association for Community College Entrepreneurship. And Dr. Murdaugh is one of the most amazing people I've ever worked for and met. I would call him a level 5 leader, and I don't say that about just anybody. But he has really given me, I would say, the freedom to say, Angela, let's take everything we're doing to the next level and innovate. And so this was not something, Julia, in my purview to work on this project, but let me tell you how it began. Corey Melton, who is vice president at the local Florida Chamber, Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce. Well, first of all, she's dynamic, love her, so creative in the work she does, and so gracious. Like, she has a servant's heart for good. So they were planning their summit. This was just this last summer, and it was in Amelia Island. And I had never participated in a chamber event like that. Well, Julia, apparently they needed a speaker. And what I haven't shared with the audience is that part of the work I've been doing in the last several years is actually focused on the future of work. And I've become a researcher on artificial intelligence. Yes. And, you know, I'm one of those people to say, what are we doing about it? And I see where artificial intelligence is moving so quickly and data is doubling like globally every 3.5 months. I don't think people realize how significant that is and how every day it's changing lives and it's changing our lives. And with any tool, I can take a hammer and I can build or I can destroy. Well, AI is in the same way. And so my president has invested in me. I've been to conferences that I have to tell you, one in particular, it was Singularity. There were 400 people participating. I'm pretty sure I was the only one from a college, let alone a community college that was global. But I was blown away at the things that I learned. So Corey and I, you know, we're friends, and we met for lunch, and I started sharing with her this research I've been doing. And she goes, Angela, I think I scared her. I tend to put fear in people, but then I give them hope. So I'm not sure if that's an effective technique, but that's just what I've been doing.
I do that too.
Yes. Yeah. So it was after that lunch meeting we had in the spring. I got a call and she said, Angela, would you come and be our speaker? So I met with Dana Knowles. We kind of walked through it. I'd been doing talks nationally on this topic for multiple colleges. And so I shared my work and they said, well, can we tailor it to the business community? So Julia, when I was invited to speak, I knew it was a great honor. And I put my heart and soul into that presentation. I worked so hard to say, what does the chamber need to hear? What does this community need to hear? And I'm going to tell you this. We live in a really remarkable place. Like you said, I've been here since 2019. I love it. I love the people. I love where I work. I've never met such people in my life. It's like family. But it's not just this college. It's this community. We have something so special. And if you look around at the people that work in the chamber, that work in our educational system, that work in government, we are blessed. And we are blessed with people that are not just colleagues, but friends, people that are wanting to take a leap of faith to say, how do we improve this next movement of our next generation and even what we're doing now? So I took the opportunity, I presented. I have to tell you, of the 140 people that came into my session, they said, Angela, people are going to move in and out. They're going to get up and leave because they have minimal time to hear everybody. So I was expecting a stream of people in and out. And 4 people got up and I thought, oh boy, they are really into this. Now I talk about some shocking things like Neuralink, and I talk about, you know, what does this mean for our kids with what's coming down the pike? And so I share some of the shocking data and the latest technology, but then I say, but what are we going to do about it? Here's our opportunities. Here's what you can do for good with AI tools. Amazing stuff, right? ChatGPT, we know there's a lot. So after that meeting, we gave a call to action. And I asked everyone in the room, how many of you would be willing to meet and really plan have a regional plan of action for this, not just Tallahassee, but the greater Tallahassee region, our 3 counties. Julia, I had so many people come up saying, we're in. I was blown away at the interest. And I will say as a side note that Ricardo Schneider, who I'd never met, of Dan Foss, and he's a brilliant man, and he's looking at green solutions because he knows that we're taxing our electrical grid with all of the data. And so he's coming up with solutions. Well, he walked up to me after and he shook my hand. He said, Angela, I'd like to talk with you. You know, this is good. So I saw in people's hearts, people want to know. and we need to work together. So from that meeting, Julia, I met with the chamber, met with my president. He said, okay, Angela, I'm in. Let's do it. And we co-hosted on our campus, September 20th. You were there. And we had about 160 people show up from all sectors. We had education, technology. We had business, industry.
Showing it briefly.
Yeah, no, that's good. You can keep that up. That's good. It was tremendous. And I mean, I would love to turn around and interview you and say, well, what did you think? Because what I felt in that room, Corey and I led that session. I felt a momentum I've never felt anywhere. And I will tell you, I've led strategic planning for cities. I've been invited to Erie, Pennsylvania, and I got to host a citywide event for them. But I have never felt the momentum that I felt in this room that day. So, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So, the goal of that day, and I'd love to hear from you, is we asked everyone. So here's your key focus question, and this applies to anyone in your audience. I want everyone, even if you didn't participate, to be a part of this work because we've got work to do. But here was the question I asked everyone. How do we as leaders of the business, education, technology, and industry sectors unite to develop a comprehensive model that prepares the North Florida region for the future of work and learning in the age of artificial intelligence? So the infographic that you're pulling up right now, this was the roadmap that emerged. All of the people that came, that met in teams, you were there. We asked you, okay, what are we doing well in our region, focused on preparing the future of work and learning? What do we need to improve? What are the barriers? And then we asked everyone, what are your recommendations? So Julia, this was the roadmap that emerged from that meeting. And this was put out. We had a sample prototype. We sent out a survey. I will tell you, tremendous response. So many people signed up to volunteer to say, we want to be on part of this next conversation. So what we heard from them is, when you're looking at how do we engage our community, how do we prepare the city of Tallahassee, the region, for not just the future of work jobs, but the skills of tomorrow. And a lot of work's been done on how do we prepare cognitive skills, technology skills, and socio-emotional skills, because you can have the technology, but a lot of what we're seeing is customer service is coming back. You know, you use AI to do it, but we need people trained in emotional intelligence. We need people trained in leadership development. We need people trained in understanding lifelong learning. So the call to action for us in general, how do we build up this region to be ready for that? And you saw with that infographic, you know, literally the themes that emerged. And the number one theme I will say that emerged is training and awareness, the curriculum development. Of course, access is always an issue. Ethics. A lot of people will say, well, there's nothing you can do regarding ethics in terms of legislation because it's been done, it's being done at a higher level. Well, I beg to differ. I think we can create a municipal vision. But a lot of places are just now, look at FSU. It was in the Democrat, 2 days ago, that they are developing AI policies with faculty. So we're in the conversation now. The momentum is there, and I'm excited for what's next. So let me ask you, what was your feedback from that day?
I was just like what you said. I felt so much energy and momentum from that session. And I have to tell you, for years, I attended many events, especially when it involves the topic of like, how do we improve the business community, economic situation, that kind of thing. A lot, and even conversations with friends, like everyone's trying to do a lot of the same thing at the same time kind of thing. We're just operating on our own. How do we break down silos? And I felt like that session is a really great start to what breaking down silos look like.
Yeah.
So getting on the same page, and I'm glad that you are and the chamber are just partnering to make this happen. So I was really excited. And it looks like you guys are not just going to talk about it. You're actually planning future sessions to build on that momentum.
Yes. As a matter of fact, and I'd love for you to share my contact information. But Corey and I are going to be launching in the spring an AI Innovations Committee. And it will be citywide. We're going to recruit people. I've got a list of people who've already said to me, I want to be on this. So we'll be very selective in that process. The purpose of the committee is to look at these varying themes that have emerged to say, okay, how do we build that plan of action? So the things that I've heard is, wow, this is a heavy lift. Yes, but you know what? You never win a race until you take that first step. And there is a process to this, but we, Julia, I believe, are the generation that we have to be the ones to create the tomorrow. And there's multiple ways of doing that, but we need to not just teach, and we don't need to just inform, but we need to safeguard. And so what I am excited about this opportunity is people like you, people in the business sector, people in technology sector. We've got some tremendous talent within Tallahassee. One of the things that I heard through the session is we need to do a better job keeping tremendous talent here. We lose it sometimes, right? But with the talent we've got, we would like to actually recruit people that are using the AI tools for their businesses, and have them lead a webinar. We want to pull people like you in to come in and give a talk, and to share. And so that's part of the vision. It's not just one or two people. This is not about, me. This is not about Corey. This is about the collective impact. And I think in the past, there's been attempts or conversations about artificial intelligence or preparing the future of work and whatnot. I don't know that it went anywhere in this sense, not that it wasn't good work, but sometimes we get momentum and then nobody talks and it kind of just goes to the wayside. We cannot allow this to happen. So I am very committed to this process. I'm a neutral figure in this. I am doing this because I feel a calling about this for me to be a part of this. I know Corey does too. But in terms of next steps, we're looking to host webinars. The president and I have talked with our executive team. We would like to host an artificial intelligence innovations conference, a summit. And we will have breakout sessions. We're going to have a powerful keynote. We are looking actually we will be a host site for NACY's upcoming national summit called Pathways to Prosperity. And that information, anyone can attend and register. But we will be looking probably a few days prior. So this is the first week of June. It's June 2nd through the 6th. But we are looking that early in that first week to be doing a one-day innovations conference on AI. And I promise you, it will be worth people's times, because I've heard from so many people in this community and through the chamber, Angela, I need to learn, how do I utilize these tools? And Julia, I will say in my presentation I gave that was prior to this design thinking session, I showed them how I developed a song. I showed them how I developed a strategic mapping, using ChatGPT. I built my own business. There are free tools out there that created Instagram posts for me, no charge. And I think people were excited about what they can use. And so with that, we've got tremendous opportunity. But if people don't know, they can never do, right? And so we've got great faculty and we've got great teachers and great administrators and great business leaders and so forth and tech leaders. But if they're not aware of what's out there, their opportunities, they'll never move forward in this arena.
And I have to bring to your attention, the chat is kind of blowing up. I should show you.
Oh,
there's somebody commented, AI lets us humans be the best version of ourselves and bring our highest value forward. And as feedback, somebody who attended the session, she said, it was truly an incredible experience to be a part of this initiative. Angela is making a remarkable impact within our college and the broader community. Introducing Future Tallahassee was an inspired and innovative idea. I'm excited to see the positive outcomes and new developments that will emerge from it. Poonam says, what a great idea to create an AI innovation committee, taking action. So yeah, I mean, wow. This is exciting. Thank you guys for watching the episode. And I have so much more to follow up with questions, Angela. Okay, so just briefly to mention, since TSC is taking the lead in this pretty much, So you have AI classes and programs as well. I would imagine you're
Yes.
yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're excited. Yeah, so we just started an applied artificial intelligence certificate program here at TSC. Tremendous. You can go to our website, look into that, different AI programs. We are in the process in developing our strategic plan moving forward. In fact, we're going to host a college-wide meeting here, just internal, to look at, what is our future with AI literacy. And so that is coming up in the early part of January that another faculty member, Trisha Rizza, are going to lead that conversation. But there is tremendous momentum. There's tremendous interest. I will say with the President's Leadership Institute and Heather Mitchell, she's part of that right now, this current cohort. But with that, we have asked them, and we have pulled in our cohorts to talk about AI. We have partnered with the University of Florida. I'd love to do more with FSU on developing certifications for our PLI participants, where they earned one-day certifications on AI leadership for community college leaders. And so we are on this and we are excited about the opportunities. And I want to thank everyone in the chat, because these are all tremendous leaders that have wrote to you in the chat, and I'm just so honored that they are here listening live.
Yeah, they're chatting with each other in the chat. So
I love all of them.
You can see it in LinkedIn later. So yeah, thanks for participating. And the other thing, obviously we want to include a call to action. There's a lot of things coming up in the near future. Yes. There's a lot, the buzzword right now, AI, it's booming and everything. But that's one of the things that I really considered I should participate in some kind of AI program to learn, because I see conversations and articles. It's not AI that will replace jobs. It's people who know how to use AI. Like the co-founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, he said the future of the workforce in 10 years will pretty much be 50% self-employed. Yep. You probably see a lot of these headlines. So, and then I think it's called the rising storm. Mm-hmm. You've seen that? Yes. Yeah. See, I know you know what I'm referencing to, but so I really love that you're taking the lead to tackle this problem ahead of time. I don't think anyone in Florida is really doing this, right?
I've never seen, I know colleges, Miami-Dade's big on, they've built an AI center, amazing work. Other institutions in Florida, I know FSU's doing a lot of work on this. Great things are happening. We've got Chris with SkillsLine on. Nationally, there are a lot of people having the conversation. Have I seen a city do this? No. I believe we are the first. And here's what I will say to everyone. We have an opportunity to partner together that could become a model to this nation. I believe this. Florida, our governor has said by 2030, we want to be #1 in workforce. We are well on the way of accomplishing that goal. We're also #1 in higher education. Our education system is tremendous. When you look at the work happening in the system, it is remarkable work. We've got good people here. We've got innovative talent. And I think we need to work together and link arms. I will say this, somebody could say, but why me? Who am I? But why not you? I don't think we can ever look at our lives and say, well, I'm just one person, in the midst of a huge crowd. So what? It only takes one person to make a difference for good. And also vice versa, right? But we have tremendous power and we have tremendous opportunity. And I will say to everybody listening, this is my call to action, is let's do it together. And it's not just Florida. We're starting here, but this is a bigger momentum. And I think if we do this right, we are going to have an impact that will be lasting for generations to come.
This is so exciting. I love this. I believe that's the best way to end it, really. I mean, because I know there's more to talk about. And we should definitely have a part 2 after we have the next session together, because I know you guys are planning for the next one. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I started CityClips. I really wanted to let people know all the positive things happening in this region, really. When I was a student in San Francisco in the 90s, when the .com era happened and Silicon Valley started blowing up even further, I didn't realize at the time, but now looking back, I was like, wow, I'm in the early stages of what that's going to look like for Tallahassee in Florida.
Yes.
where you're seeing tech hubs, obviously Miami and Central Florida starting to brew. But I think we have a unique opportunity here in North Florida as well. Nobody knows what's happening here. There's a lot happening in North Florida. And so that's what I want to capture and retell through CityClips. And I'm so glad you came on to start sharing this conversation as well.
I am honored, Julia. Thank you. And I want to thank everyone who came and participated. Let's do it together. I'm excited.
Thank you so much, everyone. Continue to follow us at CityClips. We're going to have more awesome guests like Dr. Angela. So watch us and catch us in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.